What's poppin' T Squad? It's your girl Keisha, and I'm here with tonight's All Tea All Shade Real Housewives of Atlanta season 13, episode 11 review. All right, so on tonight's episode, we pick up exactly where we left off last week with the ladies at the crab boil. I was late because I had to get my beat together for the final dinner, the final destination. We all was sitting there trying to act like we liked Latoya's crab boil, but it was a little bland to me. It wasn't seasoned good enough. I was still hungry. I'm still hungry right now, child. That's why I just ordered me some drunken fish. So Cynthia was like, I learned I was a voyeur. I like watching hot ass bitches. So I went up to my room and I handled my business. Now, see, I wouldn't have had no issue with that if me and Cynthia wasn't sharing a goddamn room and she had the nerve to be laying in the bed next to me playing with herself and twiddling her thumbs and shit. I'm like, Cynthia, are we really doing this right now? Like, bitch, we are not in a relationship anymore. Like, I don't know why she was sitting up here trying to entice me. I am strictly dickly now. That phase of my life is over. It was just that, a phase. I was confused. I was lonely. I was going through something at the time, but that is over. I am in a happy relationship with Damson Idris, honey. Snowfall is back on. Yes, God. So, Porsha was like, were you thinking about us? And Cynthia was like, yeah. And I was like, you nasty bitch, you. So Cynthia brings up Bolo penis and that she was unsure of whether or not it was real, but halfway through the night she realized that it was very much so real. So Tane was like, I think it was fake. Sure, you think it was fake. Girl, who you think you fooling? So then Porsha was like, it was real. So he showed me his little thing. You know what I'm saying? It was real. It was real. You know what I'm saying? I was quite delighted by it, There was no complaints coming from my room, my mouth, or my butt either. So, Toy was like, what kind of married woman would be all up on Bolo like that? She says this to Drew because Drew was like, he showed me his thing too. So Drew was like, why are you singling me out, number one fan? And Toy was like, I'm your number one fan and your only fan. And we all laughed or whatever. So Drew was like, you're so negative. Toy was like, I mean, you're struggling in your marriage and I'm actually getting divorced. Did you enjoy the Bolo? And Drew was like, I did. I sure did. Toy was like, was it you that was with him at 6 o'clock in the morning that Ken's talking about? And Ken was like, are we saying it's Drew? And Drew was like, don't say it was Drew. Don't be implicating me. Don't be bringing me in this. So Kenya was like, no, I'm sorry. Drew was like, are you feeling guilty about something? You was busting it wide open. And then the producers play back when Kenya was spreading her legs eagle to the wind. And then they gonna have the nerves to be shady and play a creaking noise like a door was open, like a dusty, rusty old door. That shit was funny as fuck. They so damn shady. So King was like, I think it's pretty obvious like who it was. Toy was like, and you're doing investigations, why? And I'm like, bitch, you was just doing an investigation asking Drew, was it her? So then why are you circling around acting like what Kenya did is such an issue? Like, I don't know if LaToya was drunk again, but I was like, where are you, bitch? Are you on planet Earth? Like, what? That made no sense. And Kandi in her confessional was like, 1 minute Toya's going off on Drew because she was having a good time with Bolo. Then the next minute she mad at King for doing the investigation. Like, you're not making any sense. And she absolutely was not making any sense. It was ridiculous. So Toya was like, why are we investigating the girls thing? And King was like, because I wanted to. Do you have a problem with that? I was like, ooh, trouble in paradise. So Shamia was like, when we were by the pool, it was all fun. Then in the kitchen it became serious. And this is why I think that Toya did a little bit more that night than what she's leading on to, because she was acting very guilty. I know that the rumor was that Toya and Kenya fooled around, but I don't think that happened at all. And tonight's episode pretty much proved that. But I do think that Latoya did a little bit more than she's leading on to, and that she will be the second person that is implicated in this romp later on this season. Um, so Cynthia was like, was Kenya the only one that heard anything? And Marlo was like, I was in my room. I heard a whole party, a whole sex party going on. So everybody looking like, oh shit. Porsha looking like she just want to cry. And let me tell you why Porsha just didn't want to own the fact that it was her. Because, I mean, it's obvious. By the look on her face, by the nervousness, the tenseness in her shoulders, her whole body language, it's obvious that she slept with the man. But I think the reason why she doesn't want to implicate herself and admit that she did it is because of Ninja Turtle. You know how a nigga can cheat on you 50 million times and you take him back or whatever the case may be because you're quote unquote the victim. But if you do one thing, that nigga gonna leave you alone for good. That's exactly what it is with Porsha and Dennis. She know if Dennis finds out, Dennis ain't gonna fuck with her no more. She's not gonna be able to hold this "you cheated on me" shit over his head no more, because now she's gonna be a guilty party as well. That's the reason why she didn't want to own up to that shit on fucking camera, because she knows and knew that if and when he found out, it was gonna be a wrap between them, or at least he wasn't gonna fuck with her like he fuck with her now no more. So where was I at? Toya was like, it wasn't a sex party. It was a bachelorette party. Once again, being hella defensive or whatever. Why are you so defensive if you so-called went to bed? So Key was like, but it is a party when you're hearing moans and groans. And Toya was like, what are you talking about? That did not happen. How you know it didn't happen? Thought you was in bed asleep. How you know it didn't happen? Oh, okay. She keep on telling on herself too. So Marla was like, it could have just been somebody playing with theyself. Could have been. And she looks at Porsha like, could have been. And Porsha was like, she gonna tell it. She gonna roll it out. Just let her finish. Just let her go ahead or whatever. So Key was like, I stood there and I'm like, am I really hearing what I think I'm hearing? Tay was like, probably because you haven't had it in a long time. And I'm like, Tanya, y'all hoes don't know how to keep shit a secret. Y'all don't know how to deny, play innocent. Like, all y'all telling on y'allself. Y'all stupid. Like, Tanya, why did you even say anything? You should have just sat there, banana boat, and just shut the hell up. So King was like, how would you know? I'm not in your bedroom. And Tanya was like, I mean, I'm just guessing you're always saying that you and your husband are apart. And King was like, you don't know what I'm doing at home, but I know what happened in this home. So Porsha, her confession was like, what kind of person has a good time with friends? First of all, y'all not friends. You said that 50 million times. And the last thing that you said was fuck Kenya. So she's not your friend. She doesn't owe you anything. Let's get that 100% clear. So Porsha was like, what kind of friend has a good time with friends? What kind of person has a good time with friends then want to make everyone out to be a whore? Marlo says, whose room was it? King was like, it wasn't Candy's room. And Porsha was like, so you're talking about me. Once again, why are you even speaking up? Like, y'all telling on y'allself. Like, I would have just let that bitch talk and ate them bland ass crab legs and went on about my business. So King was like, I didn't point any fingers at anyone. Tanya was like, I feel the need to dispel this. I spent the night in this girl's room. And everybody looking like, oh, bitch. Like, you just told on yourself, Tanya. Like, oh my God, our Canadian people just dumb. So Kandi in her confessional was like, Tanya, why would you out yourself at the scene of the crime? Kenya didn't even say your name. Once again, they told on themselves. Like, all she did was put her foot in her toe in the water, and y'all made it ripple. Like, the fuck. So Toya was like to Kenya, are you trying to direct it at Porsha? And Kenya was like, did I say anyone's name? Porsha was like, it's a non-issue for me or whatever. So Marla was like, if y'all got some stripper stuff. Porsha was like, wow, that's the statement we're making. Toya was like, why is moaning and groaning an issue? Kenya was like, I think if something like that happened, it's very disgusting. Porsha was like, I'm ready to go home. I'm over this. I'm going to my room. Once again, you look crazy, you look guilty. Remember, you were single, but then the next minute you a whole fiance. The next minute you got a man. Like, which one is it? But like I said, she just didn't want that nigga to find out, because she knows that she wasn't gonna be able to have the power anymore in that relationship and making him feel bad. So Porsha in her confession says, Kenya's implication is disrespectful. Her doing everything to shame me, but girl, you can't destroy what God built. Good luck, bitch. I'm like, what's so funny between when it comes to Porsha and King is that they're so much alike. They're so much like they do the same shit to each other, but then want to act like one is worse than the other one. But for me, it seems to me like Toya. Porsha is the one that's always starting with Kenya more so to me, and that's just my opinion. My channel, my opinion. But they do the same shit to each other, and that shit is hilarious to me. So Cynthia, her confession, like, if I was Porsha, I would just own it, but she can't own it. So back home, Drew talks to Wreck-It Ralph about the bachelorette party. Kandi talks to Don Juan about it, and me and Cynthia talk to Mike about the situation. And Cynthia tells Mike that Bolo was well endowed and that it was real. And he looking like, how the fuck you know it was real? Like, what the fuck? And I was like, because I told her, because I had it in my mouth and it was hard and it grew. So Kandi says to Don Juan, Porsha looked like she was in tears when she saw Porsha looked like she was in heat when she saw Bolo. And Don Juan just eating the shit up. So Mike say, how you know like that his penis is big? He's steady interrogating Cynthia, and Cynthia acting all flushed and stuff. And I'm just sitting there like, girl, grow up. So Cynthia was like, he like windshield wiped it. So Mike get to straddling her and giving her a lap dance, and I just like, can somebody call me an Uber? So Kandi tells Don Juan that a lot of the girls got frisky. Wasn't me. It wasn't me. I was upstairs in my shower. It wasn't me. Then I went on the sofa. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I told y'all I was up in my room watching Matlock. And then after that, I watched In the Heat of the Night. I was not fooling with that nigga. So, Drew tells Ralph that Bolo flipped her over and she was making her booty clap and he smacked it. And you could tell by the look on his face, he did not appreciate that shit nor liked it, but he played that shit cool for the cameras. So Kandi and Cynthia tell tell Mike and tell Don Juan that somebody slept with Bolo. Don Juan was like, well, who was on that hallway? Like, who rooms was in that hallway area? And Kandi was like, me and Porsha, but then I don't know why Tanya did this to herself. Girl, why did you tell them you were in her room? I ain't want to tell them I heard nothing, but let's just say this, Kenya wasn't lying. So I'm like, what was the point of her acting like she wasn't going to tell nobody nothing, and what stays in the dungeon stays in the dungeon, but as soon as she get around Don Juan, she goes and tell Don Juan everything on camera. Make it make sense, Kandi. Make it make sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like, what? I just didn't understand it. You sit up there and act like Kenya was doing too much, doing the most, acting like you wasn't going to say nothing. You was going to keep everything a secret. You didn't want to be in it. But then as soon as you get on camera in front of Don Juan, you spill the tea that you know that something happened. I don't get Kandi this season. Like, she's all over the place. I don't understand her. So Don Juan was like, that is leading to why I got a call from the car service saying Bolo didn't leave until 7:30 that morning. Mind you, he was supposed to be gone by 2. So they had to pay extra money to get that nigga the fuck gone. So he says, so Bolo might have got him some social justice snatch. So Ralph was like, so what else you doing? Drew was like, I still don't know all the details from Tampa. What is the name of the hotel you at? And Ralph say, the details you want are stupid. Once again, I told you I don't bit more believe in this storyline, but we gonna pretend like it's real or whatever. And if it is real, you's a whole fucking fool while you sitting up here trying to talk about Kenya and what she need to do for her marriage, but you let your husband disappear for 3 days and he won't even give you not one inkling of where the fuck he was at. Girl, bye, Drew. So Drew in her confession will say, I don't think that he was unfaithful, but the more he won't say where he was, it does unsettle me. I bet you it does. So Kenya's at this photo shoot for Alpha Male magazine or some shit. And LaToya visits her on set. Kenya in her confession was like, I was disappointed with Toya after the final dinner, so I had to put her on ice. And I don't blame you, because she was acting, but like I said, this a new hoe. I wouldn't consider nobody I just been knowing a few weeks, a month or so, my friend. Fuck that. So Toya brings her a cake to celebrate, and Kenya was like, I really want to smash it in your face. She was like, the craziness of the dinner that night and you attacking me. Toya was like, I was upset with you because you was trying to investigate. Some of these women are married, engaged, and have men. You put them on blast. Once again, why do you care? Because you're equally as messy. Why do you care? Oh, because your ass did some shit you ain't had no business doing. So Kenya was like, they put themselves on blast. 100% agree. Period, Pooh. She was like, when you sat at that table and decided to let being pussy whipped affect how we operate, I have a problem with that. When they were at the table the night before making me feel like shit because I'm taking care of my daughter, that was all led by Porsha. Where is the lie? Everybody got on Kenya last week for exposing the whatever happened with Bolo, but nobody had nothing to say when literally the week before on the prior week's episode, when Porsha led the pack of Kenya ain't shit for bringing her daughter and not letting us bring ours or whatever, making everybody gang up on her and everybody it was a gang up on Kenya. Nobody had nothing to say, but then when the tables are turned, Kenya is the bad guy, she's the villain, and this and that. Make it make sense, people. Make it make sense. So they flash back to Porsha leading the pack of everybody being mad at Kenya. Kenya was like, I don't have help. My situation with Mark. She was like, I'm losing it. You were one of my only friends sitting and watching this girl try to humiliate me. Then the next night, I'm watching y'all be touchy-feely. It hurt my feelings because I have a crush on you. This is where my train went off the track. I was like, what? Like, what in the fuck am I watching now? Girls Gone Wild. Like, what in the fuck is going on now? Kenya like girls, and she was like, I ain't never had a crush on a girl before, but I got feelings for you. So what? Oh, Jesus Christ! I don't even know how to compute this, calculate this in my head. I don't even know, child. I don't even know. Now, the part where she was saying, how you watch this girl humiliate me, and the next thing I know, you touchy-feely with her. Like, you supposed to be my friend, but you up her tongue kissing this hoe. I understood that part. But then when she hit us with the, I got feelings for you. What the fuck is going on, Jesus? Like, oh, God, I don't even know, child. Whatever them middle-aged hoes want to do with they pussy in their mouth, that's on them. So Key was like, I've never been with a woman. I just felt this closeness to you. It left me feeling like you're there for whoever shows you attention, and that's not loyalty. And I'm like, is she for real? Like, do she really got feelings for LaToya? What? Okay, so Toya was like, I did have fun with your enemy. And Kenny was like, she wants to beat me, but she's not my enemy. I don't bit more believe that Porsha want to be Kenya at all. Like, Kenya, that's a reach. Girl, Porsha do not want to be you, nor do you want to be Porsha. Now, stop it with the foolishness. So Toy was like, I wasn't there for you, and I'm sorry about that. And Kenya accepts her apology, and she was like, well, I done heard that there was a threesome, you, Porsha, and Tanya eating, coochie, kissing, and all that. And Toy was like, what? So in her confessional, she was like, I didn't go down on Porsha. Toya says to Kenya, I didn't even kiss Tanya. I straddled Porsha, and she did come on me. Kind of freaking nasty Cinemax Showtime After Dark. What's that shit? Emmanuel. That's for the old school freaks. What kind of Emmanuel shit was going on that night? What the fuck? You let Porsha come on you? So she was like, then I puked, and I'm like, I gotta go to bed. Now, she keep on stressing that she went to bed, and then she was on Instagram Live at 7 o'clock in the morning so she could have proof that she was in the bed. Girl, that's all a cover up to try to show and have proof that you didn't do nothing, but it's obvious that Toya did something that night. So Kenya was like, in her confessional, this comes from Porsha, who constantly calls out other people for whole behavior. So yeah, I can call this to people's attention because she's done the same thing. And then production flashed back to all the times Porsha has hoe shamed other cast members. So you can give it, but you can't take it. I mean, once again, tit for tat, her and Kenya do the same shit. It's just one person gets more heat than the other. So Toya was like, Tanya admitted she was in Porsha's room, and Kenya was like, and now we know that they're more than just friends. They friends. And I was like, they showing the fuck on. They must some scissor sisters. So Drew goes to see Porsha with an outfit on like she's starting in the next Step Up movie. I mean, this girl cannot dress for shit. Like, she's so goddamn country. Like, she had on a hat with a hot ass wig on. Mind you, it wasn't even cold yet for all that hair and the hat on. She knew she was filming that day because they have filming times. They know what time they're going to film, where they're going to go, and what they're going to talk about. So the fact that she didn't even have enough money or whatever time to get her hair done, because she actually, you could tell that she just slapped on a wig, put a hat on, and then put on an outfit that Destiny's Child threw away in the 90s. Like, I don't know where in the fuck this girl was going, but she's just, oh gosh, she need all the help in the world. She can't dress for shit. So Porsha brings up the trip, and Drew was like, I didn't like that King was trying to implicate you. Porsha was like, I took it as her being a punk ass bitch. So Porsha, her confession was saying, I'm gonna pay her dust like her vagina. So halfway through the conversation, Drew sweating and shit because her head hot. The bitch is hot. She got on like 90 layers of clothes and shit. And I'm betting around that time it wasn't no, it couldn't have been no more than September, October around that time. It was not cold enough for her to have on a jacket, a whole sweatsuit, a hat, a fucking haystack on her head. Like, girl, she just looked flammable. So Porsha was like, do you think that Ralph cheated in Tampa? And Drew was like, I don't know. And how are you and Dennis doing? And Porsha gives us her normal spiel about how she loved Dennis, but he didn't cheated and she ain't gonna be able to, use that over his head no more. And she realized what she's done now and blah, 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 blah. So Porsha, we see helps PJ brush her teeth, and I think she looked so cute. PJ. PJ looked so cute with her hair up in that little ponytail. That's how that little girl needs to wear her hair all the time. She looks so cute. So Cynthia discusses the wedding with me and Noelle and her sister and her mammy. And Noelle took it upon herself to point out that Cynthia's feet was ashy. And the cameraman panned on them dogs. And woo, child, you could tell she used to be a model because them feet, goddamn it, them motherfuckers wasn't barking. Them motherfuckers was growling and whistling and howling. Cynthia's feet ugly than the motherfucker. Them motherfuckers is toed the fuck up. I can't believe I used to let her fuck me with that big toe. Girl, them days is over. I might need to go get my vagina checked for fungi. So Kenya goes to see her lawyer, and she tells him that she told Mark that she drafted a custody agreement, and that after that he started sending her love songs. Another sad love song wrecking my brain like crazy, and I'm all torn up. And the lawyer like, oh really? She was like, yeah. She was saying that he was telling her he want them to be a power couple and this, that, and the third, and she just cheesing and grinning. She done fell for the okie doke. So the lawyer was like, well, he just pulled a stunt, honey, because yesterday I received this, and he hands her a stack of papers, and it's revealed that he filed for divorce in New York. Kenya was like, I know he didn't. The lawyer was like, oh, yes, he did, ma'am. Yes, he did. The lawyer was like, and he's asking for alimony from you. Child, this is why I ain't never getting married. I wish a nigga would. So Kenya is blindsided. Like, she was like, he told the world that he didn't want anything from me. And they recap where he said on television, if anything ever happened to him, she could take anything. So she better use that shit in court. So the lawyer says that he has to file in Georgia because that's where she lives. He knows that he can't file in New York. So it's like, why is he playing all these silly ass games? Like, that nigga is truly the devil. So the lawyer says I contacted his lawyer and told him to dismiss this, and if not, we'll be serving him again and asking for attorney fees. King was like, he didn't even ask for custody of his own child, but he wants money from me. Just like a nigga. So the lawyer was like, judging by the way he's acting, it's gonna be a knockdown, drag out fight. And I mean, we already knew the nigga was messy, but it's something wrong with that nigga. Like, that nigga is literally the devil. Like, he's the worst. Like, he's the absolute worst. Like, my God, I feel sorry for her. But this is what you gotta do. You gotta be careful who you lay down with, who you have kids with, and who you marry. Don't be rushing shit, because you be surprised. You laying up, sleeping with the enemy, goddammit. It's a stranger in my house. So yeah, that was my review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Make sure you guys follow me on my Instagram fashion page. It's fashion_killer81, so you can see this Fashion Nova ensemble that I'm wearing. See all the pictures and the details. This week is my pastel series, so all the looks I'll be posting will be of the pastel color persuasion. Today is the last day to order your Dream 2 book box, so make sure you order yours. Make sure you guys also watch my Dream and Slim mini movie. Thank you to anyone who's already watched it, and thank you to all of you guys for your condolences on my aunt passing. I truly appreciate every well wish and prayer. Thank you so much. My family truly needs it. I thank you guys so very much. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow for Love and Hip Hop. Bye.